I'm being recorded. Woohoo! Um, my name is Noor and I'm an alcoholic. And I give praise and thanks to God for another day sober, and especially for this moment, because I need to be sober right now. Thank you, Mama Teresa. You know, as I was contemplating about what the topic was, you know, it crossed my mind. Well, maybe you should write some notes. No, just stay with it and come from the heart, and everything will fall into place. So that's what I'm going to do. There is a quick qualification that I'll do. Yes, I'm an alcoholic. I also use other substances as well. I grew up in Watts, California, square peg, round hole, and started really using it when I was in college, and moved back home with my grandmother, cared for her a little bit, started using more, and then things started messing up in my life, and finally I got introduced to Alcoholics Anonymous in 1991, and then got sober again. Was sober for a period of time, and that is where I'll pause right there. Was sober 2 years and 9 months and relapsed, and then I got sober again. And that moment when I was sober in 91, I did everything. I thought I did everything. I did the big book, highlight, underline, words I didn't understand, went to meetings, had a sponsor, listened as best I could, not only as the dying would, but I listened because I was intellectually figuring out this program, and I heard God. Then I heard God, and it was still my idea of the entity that I grew up with, the God from the church. So I did everything. I was a doer. And what I come to realize is that I wasn't being. And being, as in human being versus human doing. I was a doer. I did everything that was required of me. I had commitments. I was doing. And I found myself on probably I relapsed. And then the thing that I remember the most was that first drink. When I took that drink, I thought to myself, oh, I can get sober tomorrow. Took the drink and I was off and running. I didn't get sober the next day. I think I was probably out for about 6 months. I was in a blackout because I don't remember a lot of the things that happened when I was out there, inactive and drinking. And then a moment of clarity came, and I was in a motel room, and I had somebody who I was with, and he had come back with some other stuff, and he brought a bottle of alcohol, and I took a drink, and I heard a voice 3 times say, enough. And then I heard the voice again say, enough, louder. And then enough. And I didn't go, oh my God, what is that? I just went, put the beer down, said, I gotta go, left that room, got into my car, and drove to a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous, drunk. And that was June 20th, 1995. June 21st, I was sober. And I said, God, please help me. And I didn't know what that was or what it was going to happen. The idea was that it would, that plea would instantly make me sober and abracadabra, everything would be great. That was my idea, but it didn't happen. But what did happen was I got sober the next day. And it was my birthday, June 22nd. I was born June 22nd, 1964. So my sobriety date and my birthday are the same date. And moving forward, stayed sober, started being sober. And what that looks like is sitting in a room and praying, sitting in a room and listening to every word and trying to remember something, at least one thing. And what I prayed for was, God, please, I want to stay sober today. Or God, I want to be able to put a couple of sentences together, because the way I speak now is not the way that I was speaking back then. And I prayed, I want to be able to sponsor, and I want to have a closer relationship with this power. And what I've come to realize is through my experiences that the relationship I have with this power greater than myself is having connection with you, having connection with people that love me unconditionally, having a relationship with my mother, and standing in the sunlight. Now, I was thinking about a moment where I cursed the sun sober. And I said, I hate mornings. I despise them. And I laugh because so I didn't go to early morning meetings. Most of my meetings were in the evening. And some years later, I come to be in connection, be in alignment with a yoga practice that suggests you get up early in the morning before the sun rises. And I'm like, God, this is a joke, right? And it's no joke. It was for me to be disciplined and to stand in that sunlight, stand in the presence of my higher power. So my part, the meditation is taking a step into the sun. And there is a song that we say at the end of every yoga practice. I practice Kundalini yoga. And the prayer or mantra is, may the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. And first I hear that and I go, okay, yeah, well, long time. It's kind of like just hearing the Serenity Prayer. And as I savor the words and hold it dear to my heart, that's where that sunlight and that spirit is within me. And I get to bask in the radiance of sun. And when I meditate, because I practice a form of yoga and meditation that some would say is just completely awkward, but I love it. Because what I've noticed is that with my mind, it goes. But when I get to that place of stillness, not for a long period of time, just maybe about 30 seconds, maybe about 45 seconds, sometimes a minute, but I'm standing in that sun. and I'm basking in it. You know, one of the things that come to mind for me is the part in the book that talks about the realm of the spirit. And when I vision that, it's in standing in the sun. I meditate with the intention of just, God, do with me what you will. Allow me to do thy will. When I meditate and stand in the sun, it's incredible. When I go to a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous, it is incredible. You know, our leader said, or someone said, come all the way in and sit all the way down. And I heard that, first time I heard that was at my home group. And I was still jittery and, like the book says, befogged. But when I started to come and sit in and relax and sit all the way down. And luckily, sometimes in some meetings, they have couches, and I sit all the way down, and I'll just close my eyes and just be there and be present. Stepping into the sun is one step into freedom. And that's in the book, it says, you know, the archway through which we pass to freedom. And beyond that, or when I step into that sunlight of the spirit, I step into it. I step into it every day. That I give thanks and gratitude for being sober right now. Because all I have is right now. All I have is right now. All I have is right now. And the amazing thing about this sun is that it's here, but I also I vision it kind of like my background, you know. That's a visual for me because I play gong, and I envision that when I strike it, that's the visual that I get from playing gong. And that's part of my ritual too. Stepping into the sun. For anyone that's newer than myself, welcome. This program does work. It works really well, provided that you do a couple of things, and that's get a sponsor, get a book, go to lots of meetings, and step into the sun. You get a power much greater than you that supports you in everything you do. And you'll experience this sunlight, this radiance, this beauty, this ultimate intelligence, this power greater than yourself that graces me and graces us with one more day sober. I see a little heart on the screen, so that's probably coming close to my time. So I hope that this talk gives some insight onto that meditation, or the meditation discussion topic of stepping into the meditation is stepping into the sun. Yeah, it's a good thing. I love it and I live it. And being it is one of the things that excites me the most, because I get to be, then I do it, and then I have the results, which is another day sober. So thank you for allowing me to share.
You got 15 more minutes.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
I was just putting up a heart to tell you I was loving what I was hearing. Okay.
Oh,
good.
okay.
Get comfortable, get in it, and keep sharing with us.
Okay, I'll get comfortable then. I'll get comfortable and step into the sun. Woo! So here's some things that may interest you about this meditation thing. Because it really was not something that I just kind of went to and was like, woohoo, this is like the greatest thing since sliced bread. It was resistance. And it is a practice. So where I come from is a state of allowing that meditative mind to be exactly what it is. When I get into resistance, okay. So that's what my mind is doing right now. All right. So now what do? I get to be in it, not do, but be in it, and let it do what it does, but be committed to sitting for however long I'm going to sit, for however long I'm going to do whatever posture I'm doing, and be in it. So this meditations that I'll talk a little bit about that. I look at it as child's play, and kind of also connecting back with the sun. I love the sun. I was born in the summer, so I mean the part in the book just hit home for me when I read it. It was just like, oh, okay, and summer's coming up too, so I get to play in the sun. But my point is that when I meditate, it is a process, and I get to be patient with myself, and I get to be this vessel that allows things to pass through, like the ocean waves. The thoughts come and the thoughts go, and being committed to letting those thoughts come and letting those thoughts go. The form of meditation that I do is connected with Kundalini yoga. So it is not just a moments of sitting still and being quiet. They're typically active meditations, incorporating sound and breath. But with those meditations comes a feeling of peace and serenity. There are also meditations for specific ways of being, like there's prosperity, there's abundance, there is healing, and or for my good friend, for high blood pressure. But those are some of the specifics about the form of meditation that I do and teach. But one of the great things about it that I enjoy is that it's supported me in my recovery, and I get to pass that on to others who are in recovery as well. Like I said, I didn't come into this, like I didn't come into recovery like, shouting great tidings and going, oh yeah, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, like I said before. I came in kicking and screaming, and by God's grace, I've been blessed to have these experiences that are profound and just beyond my belief. One of the things that even Teresa mentioned about was like listening to a mantra, for example, for healing. And it supported my mother for over a good 10 years in her healing and in her transition. So what's coming to mind for me is contempt prior to investigation will leave a man in everlasting ignorance. And we read that at the beginning of the meeting, is that when I come in, if I have just a little bit of willingness, that will support me in moving forward. Just a little bit. Just, you hear it, be willing to be willing. And what I've experienced is that my willingness has gone beyond measure. My catchword for today was willingness. So, it's just something that supports me as well. It's all a mishmash of ways of being and doing and having that I get to be here today. And the amazing thing, I keep saying this because it's so amazing to be here where I never thought I'd be. I get an opportunity. I was thinking back on when I was a kid, and we're coming out of church one Easter Sunday, and one of the mothers, walked up behind me and said, "Oh, look at your boy! He's going to be a preacher one day." And I just resented that for a long time. I don't want to be a preacher. I don't want to be. I'm not. And what I come to realize is through my practice and through what I do as in supporting others in their recovery and sponsoring, is I'm not a preacher. I'm a sponsor, but I get to support people and guide people on their way. And that's the amazing thing about this program too. And my experience, things that I resist, persist, and I come to find that they end up being blessings. I've realized that through meditation that it supports me 100%. I've made that petition through prayer, and I listen to my higher power, God, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, Krishna, many names, guide me on my way. I was thinking also about one of the things that I had when I first got sober. And because I've always wanted to know this power, I've always wanted to know or have a relationship with him, but I never knew how. And what I've come to experience is that this way of life has provided me the opportunity, and God has provided me the opportunity to get close like I've never known before. My mother, I was talking about her and that sound current, that meditation that I played with her for years. And I had belief that it was work, and it was work. I saw the results of the sound current, and I loved the way it supported her. And when her time was to go, she left in peace, into the spirit, into the sunlight, and the sunlight of the spirit. It is, I keep saying amazing because no words can describe this experience of human being and being in this fellowship, one of gratitude. And that's, once again, stepping into the sun. The amazing part about this process and about step 11 is that sought through prayer and meditation, to improve. I was thinking about this morning. I have to laugh at my thoughts sometimes, but I was thinking about Tide, how Tide, was on the scene, and then there was new and improved Tide. So with my recovery, it's like I'm sober and I have a relationship, and now I get to improve that relationship through these practices that I get to do. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him. praying only for the knowledge of his will for us. And that will is, when I first heard it, it was like, oh God, you're going to have me do this or be that. And the reality is that, you know, coming up on 28 now, is the reality is that I could have never imagined this. So, you know, just my teacher calls it the monkey mind. And it's that thing that keeps going, kind of like Pac-Man. But the meditation, coming back to meditation, I get to slow that down a little bit. So sought through prayer meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. And I get some power. Not a whole lot. I really don't kind of look at, I get to do these things as the opportunity that my higher power has afforded me. That's it. That's it for me. It's the opportunities of being here, the opportunities of sharing the art and technology of yoga, the supporting others in their recovery, the knowledge to carry that out, you know. So it's a more incredible experience, one that you would not want to miss, even if you know your anus falls off, as they say. You don't want to miss it. You drink some water. So stepping into the sun once again and going back to where I started of may the longtime sun shine upon you. That is the infinite, you know, power and the creative source that I get to call God. All love surround you, that love that is within and without. May the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you, that purity, that essence of who we are, pure light within you, guide your way on, and the power to carry that out, you know. So it's a mishmash, if you will. But one of the things that keeps coming back to mind for me is that it's all God. It's all God. Good orderly direction, group of drunks. I never thought that I would be in this place right here, right now. It's beyond my belief back then. Now I'm just savoring it. I'm enjoying the moment, enjoying this process, and enjoying the experience of being sober. And meditation, for anyone that's new with meditation, I'll offer some insight, because I'll go back to my first meditation was by way of a guided meditation, a cassette. And I had the experience, and then I wanted to go back to that experience. You know, I like the effect produced by meditation. I like it, and I want more of it. And the guy who gave me a cassette tape, so how did you like it? I was like, oh, that was incredible. And he said, did you go there? And I was like, yeah, I went there. I want to go back there again. Well, here's the thing. From my experience, what he said is that, you know, sometimes you'll hit the mark, and sometimes you won't, but you'll still get an experience. So that is the thing about meditation that I enjoy the most, is being in the process too. I've said that before. Being in the process and being willing to, okay, maybe I didn't hit it today, but I got an opportunity to be in the process. The other thing is consistency. And like the meditation for stepping into the sun, stepping into the sun is a daily practice. It's a daily practice for me, and I enjoy it. The other thing that sometimes gets me off is just rattles my cage. It's like, okay, it's suggested that you do it at a specific time. Some people do, some people don't. I have a prescription that I get to follow, and that, the prescription is do it between 4:30 a.m. and 7 a.m. And sometimes I hit the mark and sometimes I don't, but I make an effort not to beat myself up. I get to have the human experience. You've heard it. We are spirits living in a material world. So I don't get to beat myself up so much. Not perfect, not by any stretch of the imagination. But what I get to do is I get to practice, and I get to allow this experience to take hold of me, and be disciplined enough with myself and gentle with myself to let it be, to let me be and not beat myself up so much. When you're supposed to, like, I'm doing a 40-day meditation now, and it's an amazing and fun practice, and like I said before, there are meditations that remind me of childhood. I never knew this was a way that you can focus the mind or be in the presence of divine spirit. I never knew that. What I thought was, okay, well, all right, that's child's play. But now it's fun, it's fun. It's fun time. Ooh, I get to go and step into the sunlight of the spirit. I'm so excited. But then I also get to live my life. So yeah. The other thing that comes to mind for me is this process, and how, when I'm in doubt, when I'm in self-pity, when I'm in frustration, when I'm in debt, is gratitude and saying thank you. And bringing myself to that, because I've practiced a little bit to where I can get something from being in gratitude, even when things aren't going all right. They are going all right. Because it's just a matter of shifting my perspectives, and I hear this, it's simple, but not easy. It's simple, but not easy. Because sometimes I just have that, like I said before, the monkey mind, who wants to keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. But I also have that disruption in my thinking that says, no, God's got something else for you. Let's be gentle with ourselves today. Let me not be so hard on myself. It's overcast here in LA, and I was thinking about this song that goes, you can make the sun shine any old time, even when the clouds are there. Within. And that song I hold dear, because sometimes the clouds are there. You know, the clouds are there when, like I talked about my mother transitioning. The clouds are there when the house was repossessed, and we had to leave. The clouds are there when the car gets repossessed, when I get fired from a job, when I have negative bank account. The clouds are there, but guess what? That one thing that I know for sure, that one, it will get better, things will improve. Two is that God's got my back. And I know that for sure because I have not been carried this far to be dropped on my ass. Now, what I get to do moving forward is to be responsible and not have my, what's the line, be so heavenly bound that I am doing no earthly good. And sometimes I get spacey, but then I also have to ground myself and to go, okay, Noor, it's time to move forward, step into the sun and be productive, be responsible, be in gratitude. So it's a practice. It's always a practice. It's always a practice. Stepping into the sun, it's a practice. So, you know, with the practice though, I think for me, because I do work out too at the gym, is that, oh, you know, I want to take the day. No, I don't get to take the day off. I get to be sober today. I get to practice these principles in all my affairs and step into the sun. So, so I saw that it was 5 minutes. So how many minutes do I have left, or can I complete?
You can complete, you can wrap it up and put a bow on it.
Okay. Meditation. Try it on for size. The book says that you'll be amazed before you're halfway through. And improving on this conscious contact, improving on this process, this lovely, joyous life that we have being sober is one that you just do not want to miss. We know you don't want to miss it. So that my request is to avail yourself to a practice of meditation. Avail yourself to having an open mind and a new experience with a higher power of God. I'm complete. Thank you for allowing me to share. My name is Noor Singh and I'm an alcoholic.
To share, we ask that in order to share, we ask that you raise your hands electronically by clicking on the reactions button at the bottom of your screen and choosing the raise hands menu item. On your iPhone or iPad, please click on the 3 dots in order to share that feature. So we ask you raise your hands. It's a question and sharing time. So I'll just go around the room and see if anybody would like to share. Vera, would you like to unmute yourself?
Hi, Vera, alcoholic. Really grateful to be in this meeting. I've been coming the past few weeks, and I just love being in a meeting that covers the 11th step. And Noor, I just appreciate you referring back to the sunlight of the spirit. I have a question. So I feel like for me, when I am staying connected to people who are in recovery, I am already allowing myself to be within the sunlight, like just from connecting with others who are in recovery. And so I always put like a sun next to people's names who I meet who are in the program, because it reminds me this is the sunlight of the spirit. And you spoke about going out into the sun, and I was like almost thinking of it literally, like you're walking outside and like, you know, doing your yoga and your meditation in the sun, which you could be, or I could be sitting down in my room on a pillow and still getting contact with that sunlight. and that sunlight being my higher power, be me being receptive to my higher power and finding that peace and serenity in there. But my question is, could you give an example? Because I know you talked about, I think you talked about doubt or debt, like certain circumstances that might come up, but like, how does that sunlight like show up in the day to day? Like where you actually like pause or something, you're like, yo, like that practice for me meditating and praying this morning, like I know like this is how it translates now that I'm going through my day. I don't know if that makes sense, but like that is my question, or if you can like elaborate on that. Yeah, if that makes sense. Okay, thank you.
So here, yes, it does make sense. And here is something quite interesting, because I was talking about, I did mention debt. So my bank account right now is negative, right? And I am doing a meditation for connection, and the mantra that I'm using is, interesting enough, for money. And I mentioned about being consistent with the time and all that, doing at a specific time. Well, for the last couple of days, I haven't been doing it at a specific time. I broke off, and I'm seeing the results of it now because of I think the practice is I get to do it at this time and be committed to doing it at this time, and I've been lackadaisical about it. And then how that showed up is me being irresponsible and not, being mindful of my finances versus being responsible with my finances. So now knowing, and still, just because I created this shit, and what I get to do is now, well, thank you, God, for allowing me to have this experience. And B, then what I get to do moving forward is to be consistent with being mindful of my finances. And that's stepping into that's for me, that's stepping into the sunlight, is not beating myself. God, you should have. Oh, why did you get? No, I see where I played the part, not being responsible with my finances, and moving forward, what I get to do is be responsible. And the added to that is my meditation to support me with that. Did I answer your question? So it's a practice once again.
Yeah. Yes, it does. Yes, I understand that it's a practice, and it's like a shift in perspective or attitude. I guess I understand what you said. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Okay, great. Thank you, Vera. Valerie, please come and mute yourself.
Is that my
Okay.
Valerie?
Yeah.
My Valerie.
Hi, my name is Valerie, and I'm an alcoholic. And Noor, thank you so much for your service to this group tonight. I want to thank everybody who does service in this meeting, and I want to welcome you if you're new. Noor, you're so you've just brought love and light into my life, and you've always been encouraging to me. I don't have a question for you, but I want to just say that I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to have access to you on a regular basis, and to be able to trade gratitude lists. I want to assure you guys that he does what he says he does. I can witness, I am a recipient of some of his daily gratitude lists, and it really, really lifts my heart. I love your practice. And if any of you have the opportunity ever to participate in one of his sound meditations or hear the singing, there's just something amazing in just being and just being present, with that energy. And I want to thank you for being a channel. And I want to thank you for doing a 12-step call on me tonight. I love you very much. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, Valerie.
I have a
Go ahead.
question, Philip.
Sure.
So Nora, and it just brought it up when Teresa Alcoholic, when Valerie mentioned, because you do a lot with sound and you've provided me a lot of stuff with music and sound. Can you talk a little bit more about what sound or music or listening to guided meditation does for those of us who may struggle with trying to just sit and be silent? What's the benefit of finding some type of sound or music to take you to that place of a practice? Can you elaborate a little bit more on what that does for us?
Yeah. So I start with this because this is something that comes up for me all the time, and I laugh because I grew up listening to it. But the only thing is, I don't know who the singing group is. I love music, any old kind of music, as long as it's grooving. I love music. I want to say Four Tops or the Whispers or something like that. But nonetheless, it's the healing force of the world. It's sung by every man, woman, boy, and girl. That's the lyric from the song. And music or sound current is in the beginning. In the beginning, we know that, right? In the beginning was the word. That's a vibration. So I play gong. And it is said that gong is the sound of universal consciousness. So that's the sound that resonates throughout everything. So it's a vibration, it's a frequency that touches that heartstring. We are instruments. When that sound or that song, that note hits that heartstring, it creates a vibration, creates a shift in every cell of our being. And so to listen, to play, to be in the presence of gong, of singing bowls, of really uplifting music, powerful music, it shifts our consciousness. It shifts us. Yeah, that's all I have. Did I answer your question?
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Teresa. I actually have a question for you, Noor. How do you incorporate the 12 steps, I guess, or and sort of the AA Big Book, I guess, mixed in, like, obviously with Kundalini yoga or some of the spiritual practices that you do? How does it mesh somehow? Did you hear my question?
How do I incorporate the 12 steps into Kundalini yoga?
Yeah, or the spiritual practices, something like that. Yeah.
Wow. So, I was 8 years sober when I got introduced to Kundalini yoga, and it wasn't something that really I was resistant totally. Oh, no. This is not going to help me. No. Because I had another experience prior to it, like 4 years prior. Let me answer the question. So with this practice, it supports the nervous system, something that drugs and alcohol did, that for lack of a better word, fucked up my nervous system, my respiratory system, how I breathe, how I used to take breaths that were shallow, and I used to sigh throughout the day and not know why. and concentration and communication, something that I do. I think I have a really good, I think I keep focus with my train of thought as best I can. How does it support? It supports in every area of my life. I didn't come into yoga thinking that it would support me. I just looked at it as being a physical exercise. And what I've come to realize is that this practice it's powerful. Meditation is powerful. It supports my recovery unlike any other that I've experienced. Now, I don't know about any other. I'm sure somebody else would say something else. But for me, it has changed my life. It works so well for me that I share it with others, and they want to experience it as well. Now, here's a really interesting thing, and I was thinking about this today, and thank you for asking the question. Is that there are other forms of yoga. My spiritual teacher said there are other forms of yoga, classical forms. There are 22 classic forms of yoga, and it would to achieve. Now, if these are those people who stay in it who are dedicated to the practice to the point where their goal is to reach that enlightenment in a specific period of time. That's not my goal. I just want to, live a healthy, happy, and productive life. Happy, joyous, and free. It would take 22 years for someone to achieve enlightenment, if you will, versus someone who practices Kundalini yoga on consistently 1 year. I've been practicing for over 18 years. What I've experienced is a shift in my relationship to God, my relationship with people about me. And that is a direct result of the 12 steps of recovery as well as yoga. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you, Noor.
You're welcome.
Teresa Loveland, unmute yourself. Please share with us.
Hi there, Teresa, alcoholic. Thank you, Noor. Very enlightening. I appreciate it. And I appreciate this meeting every week. I come in here and always learn something new. You talk a lot about meditating. How do you, or do you, incorporate prayer into that? Or are they separate things? Can you talk a little bit more about how you do that?
So my prayer life is very simple, and it is encapsulated with gratitude, and more so, I don't ask for a whole lot. I don't ask for a whole lot. Like, for example, when my mother was in transition, I started praying with her, and it was a simple prayer. It was the Lord's Prayer. I keep prayer really simple. Just like I keep meditation life simple. I don't want to complicate it. I love the long prayers and and all of that. That moves me. It's a sound current and being in it once again. But for me personally, it's simple prayer. It's simple prayers, just like in the like the St. Francis prayer. It's a simple prayer. Third step prayer is a simple prayer. Lord's Prayer is a simple prayer. The most powerful prayer that and I get this from Father Martin. Father Martin is in gratitude. is gratitude. Thank you. You know, he says something regarding like when we, you know, when we're kids, and you know, we're given something from someone else, and the parents say, "So what do you say?" Thank you. So I'm given this gift by divine source, and I say thank you. So yeah, I keep it simple.
Thank you, Teresa. Brett B, Boca Raton, Florida. Come on up.
Hi, I'm Brett. I'm an alcoholic. And thanks for your service, Philip, and everybody else in this meeting that serves. Noor, thank you very much for your share. And this very interesting, you know, discussion. And I appreciate you. I don't really have a question. I appreciate you reminding me of how simple meditation can be if I just think of the sunlight. You know, I can be at work and chaos is going on, but just step aside, think of the sunlight, and boom, I'm there. So thank you for that. And you know, it was enlightening to hear your perspective of the sound, the frequency, the vibration. I've studied more the Tesla quantum physics aspect of the vibration, frequency, and all that. And you know, there's no separation. One says tomato, one says tomato, and I don't know. I just find it fascinating that our Creator God has been able to give us so many different ways to understand or express the same thing, but we get to, I guess, we get to see what resonates with us. And you know, you just kind of opened that up, made it like a deeper concept for me. So thank you, Noor. That's the first time I heard you speak. It was really good to hear you speak.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brett. That was wonderful. Donna Lee Mayo, please come on up. Unmute yourself.
Hey, I didn't have my hand up, but here I am. Hey, Noor. Surprise, surprise. Noor, thank you so much. I am still working on a life of meditation. You encouraged me because I am one that I believe in prayer without ceasing. So my life is just, I pray as I go. I meditate as I go. I kind of have a life of meditation. I don't just sit, but sometimes I do. You know, so I'm working on that. I listen to a lot of stuff on YouTube, and that's a lot of how I do my meditation. I have stuff that plays at night that I know goes into my spirit man. You know, I don't sit still well, so I don't go to sleep well. So I have found a solution. And I listen to a lot of different people, and I love this guy Chiron. And I just listen to a lot of different stuff, and it's been serving me well. And I'm like you. I've been around since 1972, but I just celebrated 6 years. So, you know, there's a little in and out math there, you know. So 9 months, 24 years, and now 6 years. So, and by God's grace, you know, we can come back, and we don't shoot our wounded, and hopefully my story helps somebody else not need to go back out. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Donna.
And Noor, you can comment on comments if you want.
You know, I just take it in. I take it in. I just take it in, you know, because it's in gratitude that I get to be here.
Okay, wonderful. Mariana B, come on up.
Hello, my name is Mariana, and I'm an alcoholic. Thank you, Noor, for your share.
Oh, 1 second, Mariana, you got muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're great.
Oh, okay. Noor and I were friends, so it was great to be able to come to this meeting so unexpected. I didn't know when I woke up today that I'd be at this meeting today. So thank you God for this meeting, and Nora, thank you for your share, and everyone that's participated. Something that I took away was the reminder of how simple, I'm reminded of my journey in meditation. When I first came to AA, I thought that I was so damaged that God wouldn't want me, that I could not have a relationship with a higher power because of the things that I had done and who I was. And so what AA allowed me to have was an open door to come back and to cultivate a relationship with a higher power that I hadn't had before. And I like in the 12 and 12, the 12 and 12, where it says like the hoop that we have to jump through is roomy and all inclusive. And so AA has given me the opportunity to have clarity of mind and sobriety so that I could establish a relationship with a higher power and create a practice of prayer and meditation that I didn't have before in my life. I had what was taught to me, but in AA and having the freedom to create here, to have established a relationship with a higher power and the 11th step, prayer and meditation, having a relationship with a higher power that's authentic to me, that speaks to me, and being able to meditate. I've learned different ways of meditation, and in the beginning, I felt like everyone else did, like, oh, my head race is too much. I can't do it. It's not possible. Like, I just can't do it. And I hear so many people say that because that's how I used to feel too. And now I can tell you I can meditate. I do transcendental meditation. So I can do 20 minutes and 20 minutes. Like, it's possible. It's possible to do it when the kids are crying, when the dog is barking, and the ambulance is passing by, and people are talking. Like, it's so possible. And what I realized is that I had to drop the expectation that I had to be in this like Zen, like bubble of quietness that was not possible because I have kids, I'm a mother and like a wife, and like, that you've got pets. Like, I just had to drop the idea and expectation of that and just allow myself to be and to try it and just to commit. That's what supported me, is committing to do it. And then as I did it, I learned more and more that it's possible, that I can. And I used to be able to meditate for 1 minute. I had this little app for 1 minute. I could do anything for 1 minute. I could stay sober for 1 minute. I can meditate for 1 minute. And I would do it. It's called literally 1 minute meditation. And that's how I started. And then it just snowballed into this beautiful experience. And all of it, I'm grateful, because if I didn't have AA, if I didn't have the steps, if I didn't have this way of life that we have, to have the clarity of mind and to establish a connection with a higher power, I don't know what I'd be doing. And so I'm grateful for the practices of meditation. I'm grateful for prayer. I'm grateful for the steps, and really for this program. And to be on a Zoom with people from all over the country and other countries, like, what a gift that is, and that we all relate, and the most important thing that I'll share with you about how I overcame that, like, oh, my mind races too much, was in that 1 minute meditation, the gentleman that was the guided meditation would say, and you'll have thoughts, but just look at the thoughts and say, and then let them go. And that's what I would do. And like, I still do that to this day. And I don't beat myself up for when my mind races. I have grace for myself today. And I learned that here at Alcoholics Anonymous too. So thank you for letting me share. I love you, Noor. Thank you for your share.
I love you
Thank
too.
you, everyone that makes the meeting happen.
Thank you, Mariana. Dina T, the Big Book Slayer. Come on now.
All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Dina, alcoholic. Thank you so much for your lead, Noor. And I got on here late and you were talking about meditation, and I thought, man, I hope I didn't miss too much. And then Teresa told you had 20 more minutes. I was like, yay, I didn't miss too much. So I was good. And then what a tough subject to talk about. And then you brought up Kundalini yoga, and I did that years ago. And I was like, okay, I'm in. And so, but the main thing you said is that you stopped sighing. And I hadn't thought about that, but I used to do that all the time. And I don't do that at all anymore. That's amazing. I hadn't even thought of that. And my mom and grandmother always used to talk about brain chatter in their head. And I used to have that stuff too. And man, getting sober, I don't, if I have any brain where I'm just constantly obsessed about something, that to me reminds me too much of the drinking days. And I immediately go to God. And I love, I do a little bit of the listening to God, and I'm a big booker, and so I read all of 86 every morning, and I still am into that, and I read it and I write down some things, and I do listen for God. But today I've really gotten into lately, because a lot of people I've ran into lately have been back out and have come back in. And so that has really got me on, God, what do I need? What's what? And so I've been making sure that I take some time. And sometimes it's just like breathing in and out 10 times. It's something for God. And I wear this four because I've got 4 years. And so today when I was at work talking about whoever was talking about work, we were busy as heck, man. There were people everywhere. And so, man, I came around my corner, around my register, and I'm like, fourth dimension, baby. And that lady doesn't know what I'm talking about, but man, I was feeling it. And it's all about getting centered, waiting for that intuitive thought, and just keeping it, and so with all the tools we have, it really helps me now. And I'm really grateful for that, and for your lead in this group. So thank you so much. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dina. Well, that concludes this part of the meeting. Noor, is there something you'd like to leave us with before we close this part out?
Yes. And I opened it with it, and maybe some people, like I said, some people were on a little late, but there's the song that's done at the end of every Kundalini yoga practice, and it is definitely in alignment with the sun. The words are, "May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on." Thank you.
Thank you, Nora. It was wonderful. I'll now pass the meeting back to Teresa. Teresa.